The massive holographic display cast an eerie blue glow across the United Nations Emergency Command Center buried deep beneath the Swiss Alps. UN Defense Director Diana Pottle stood motionless, her dark eyes fixed on the alien vessel that dominated the central projection. Around her, 30 of Earth's most influential leaders waited in tense silence. The Kryvax warship hung in high orbit like a crystalline dagger, its surface rippling with energy patterns that defied human understanding. It had appeared without warning, passing through Earth's most advanced detection systems as if they didn't exist. Now, nearly 12 hours later, humanity was about to face its first contact with an advanced alien civilization. The alien ambassador materialized in the center of the room, its holographic form towering 3 meters tall. The being's crystalline exoskeleton refracted light in impossible ways, and its 4 arms moved with unsettling precision. When it spoke, its words were translated by AI systems that had been working frantically to decode the alien language. Humans of Earth, the translation echoed through the chamber. I am Nexus Commander Zarkax of the Kryvax Empire. Your world has been evaluated and found lacking. Your species shows potential, but you are centuries behind acceptable technological standards. The Empire requires your resources and genetic diversity. Submit to immediate integration, and your species will be preserved as a servant race. Resist, and you will be eliminated. Diana felt her fingernails dig into her palms. 20 years in global defense had prepared her for many things, but this moment carried the weight of human history. The alien's arrogance was palpable, its certainty of victory absolute. Behind her, she heard Admiral James Chen, commander of the Combined Earth Fleet, inhale sharply. The holographic display shifted, showing thousands of worlds across the galaxy, all conquered by the Kryvax Empire. Each point of light represented a civilization that had either submitted or been destroyed. The message was clear. Resistance was futile. You have 1 planetary rotation to submit your response. Zarkax continued. Be advised that of the 2,947 civilizations we have encountered, only 23 chose resistance. None survived beyond 3 solar cycles. Diana stepped forward, her movement drawing the alien's attention. And if we submit? She asked, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. What exactly does integration mean for humanity? The alien's crystalline form shimmed slightly, perhaps their equivalent of amusement. Your biological and technological assets will be harvested and repurposed. Approximately 30% of your population will be retained for labor and research purposes. The rest will be processed for genetic material. Your culture and autonomy will cease to exist, but your species will survive in a form useful to the Empire. Behind Diana, Dr. Marcus Rivera, head of the Global Defense Research Initiative, was rapidly typing notes into his quantum tablet. His earlier warning about humanity's technological vulnerability seemed prophetic now. But he had also spoken of solutions, theoretical weapons and defensive systems that might change everything. Diana straightened her back, her decision made. She had not spent 2 decades protecting Earth to watch it submit to slavery. Nexus Commander Zarkax, she began, her voice carrying the authority of her position. Humanity has faced extinction-level threats before. Each time, we have emerged stronger. We do not require your evaluation to validate our worth. The alien's form pulsed with what might have been surprise or anger. You dare to. We dare much more than you can imagine. Diana interrupted. Humanity rejects your ultimatum. We choose to stand free, whatever the cost. The command center erupted in a flurry of activity. Admiral Chen immediately began issuing orders through his neural link, activating defense protocols that had been prepared in secret for decades. Dr. Rivera's team started implementing Project Prometheus, a revolutionary defensive technology that had been waiting for exactly this kind of threat. The alien's hologram flickered with what appeared to be genuine confusion. Your response is unprecedented. You understand this means your extinction. Diana allowed herself a slight smile. No, Nexus Commander. It means war. And you're about to learn something that every would-be conqueror of Earth has discovered. Humans don't surrender. We adapt, we innovate, and we overcome. In the hours following humanity's defiance, the world transformed with breathtaking speed. Dr. Marcus Rivera stood in the heart of the Global Defense Research Initiative's primary facility, carved deep beneath the Atacama Desert. Around him, the world's brightest minds worked with single-minded purpose, their differences forgotten in the face of extinction. "Show me Project Prometheus," he commanded, and the facility's AI brought up a holographic display that filled the cavernous chamber. The project that had been theoretical just months ago was now humanity's best hope for survival. The display showed a network of quantum-entangled satellites, each carrying what appeared to be impossible technology. Dr. Amara Okafor, the brilliant Nigerian physicist who had helped pioneer the system, stepped forward to explain their breakthrough. "The Krivax rely on predictable patterns of warfare," she said, her voice carrying the excitement of scientific discovery. "Their technology is advanced, but it's linear. We've created something different, a defense system that operates on quantum uncertainty principles. It doesn't just adapt. It exists in multiple states simultaneously until observed. The enemy literally cannot predict what they're fighting against." Marcus watched as the simulation showed the system in action. Conventional warfare relied on action and reaction, but Project Prometheus created a state of constant quantum flux. Enemy weapons would target empty space while human defenses appeared where they were needed most. Across the globe, similar transformations were taking place. In Bangalore, the International Technology Coalition had converted the city's software parks into massive AI development centers. Teams that had once competed for market share now worked together, creating neural networks that could process combat decisions faster than human consciousness. Admiral Chen's voice came through the quantum comm system, his tone urgent but controlled. "The Krivax fleet has been detected entering the Kuiper Belt. 17 capital ships, each larger than anything humanity has ever built. We have less than 72 hours. Diana Patel's response was immediate. "Time to show them what humanity can do when we work together." "Dr. Rivera, is Prometheus ready?" "Not just ready," Marcus replied, watching as his teams made final adjustments to the system. "It's evolved beyond our original designs. The quantum network has started developing its own defensive strategies. It's learning, adapting, becoming something we never imagined possible." In orbit, the combined Earth fleet was undergoing its own transformation. Ships that had once belonged to individual nations now operated as a single organism, their crews linked through neural interfaces that allowed for instant communication and coordination. The fleet wasn't large by galactic standards, but it carried humanity's greatest advantage, unpredictability. Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, commanding the advanced destroyer Hiroshima, watched as her ship's systems integrated with Project Prometheus. The quantum field surrounding her vessel made it exist in multiple potential states simultaneously. "It's like having a million ships in one," she reported. "Each potential state carries different weapons, different defensive configurations. The enemy won't know what they're actually fighting until the moment of engagement." On the ground, the transformation was equally dramatic. Cities disappeared beneath quantum camouflage fields. Industrial centers that had once produced consumer goods now manufactured advanced weapon systems. Universities became research centers for military technology, their students and professors working alongside soldiers to prepare for the coming battle. Dr. Okafor's team made another breakthrough, developing what they called probability weapons, devices that could alter the quantum state of enemy ships, causing them to phase between different possible realities. The effects were devastating in simulations, though they had yet to be tested in actual combat. "The Krivax expect us to fight conventionally," Diana told the Global Defense Council. "They think we'll try to match their firepower, their numbers. Instead, we're changing the fundamental rules of warfare. We're not just fighting with technology. We're fighting with human creativity, with our ability to imagine solutions that have never existed before." The council chambers displays showed the global preparation in real time. Former enemies shared military secrets, pooling their knowledge to create hybrid technologies that combine different approaches to warfare. Chinese stealth systems merged with American drone technology, Russian electromagnetic weapons integrated with Indian cyber warfare suites. Marcus watched as the final pieces of Project Prometheus came online. The quantum network now extended throughout the solar system, creating a web of uncertainty that would confound any conventional military approach. But the project's true power lay in its adaptive capabilities. It wasn't just a defensive system, it was humanity's collective intelligence given form. "We're ready," he announced, as the last diagnostic checks completed. Prometheus isn't just operational, it's evolving. Every second, it's learning, adapting, becoming more than we designed it to be. The Kryvax think they're facing a primitive species. They're about to confront something they've never seen before: humanity's unlimited capacity for innovation. Diana nodded, her expression resolute. "Send word to all commands. Operation Defiance begins now. Let's show the galaxy what happens when someone pushes humanity into a corner." As the orders went out, the quantum network pulsed with activity, preparing for humanity's first interstellar war. The Kryvax Empire was about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous opponent isn't the one with the biggest weapons. It's the one that refuses to fight according to your rules. Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka watched from the bridge of the Hiroshima as the first Kryvax warships emerged from hyperspace. Their crystalline vessels dwarfed anything humanity had ever built, each one a city-sized engine of destruction that had participated in the conquest of countless worlds. The alien ships moved with perfect precision, arranging themselves in battle formations that had brought death to thousands of civilizations. "Multiple contacts," her tactical officer reported, his voice steady despite the tension. 17 capital ships, over 2,000 support vessels. They're deploying in a standard conquest formation. Yuki allowed herself a small smile. "Standard is exactly what we're counting on." Activate Prometheus Protocol Alpha. The quantum field surrounding the human fleet shifted, causing their ships to exist in multiple states simultaneously. The Kryvax sensors would be detecting thousands of potential positions for each human vessel, making conventional targeting impossible. Admiral Chen's voice came through the quantum comm. "All ships, execute Operation Chaos. Show them what humanity can do." The battle began with a demonstration of Kryvax power. Energy beams capable of splitting planets lanced out from their capital ships, targeting what their sensors identified as key human defensive positions. But thanks to Project Prometheus, they were firing at quantum ghosts, their immense power wasting itself in empty space. Dr. Okafor's voice crackled through the command channel. "Probability weapons are online. Target their flagship. Let's show them something new." The human fleet responded with weapons that defied conventional physics. Quantum state disruptors struck the Kryvax vessels, causing sections of their ships to phase between different possible realities. Crystal armor that had withstood millennia of warfare began to crack as it existed in multiple states simultaneously. From her command center beneath the Swiss Alps, Diana Patel watched the battle unfold through quantum-linked displays. "They're trying to adapt," she noted, watching the Kryvax ships attempt to modify their shields. But they can't adapt to something that breaks their understanding of reality. The Kryvax response was predictable. They launched swarms of fighter craft, expecting to overwhelm human defenses through sheer numbers. Instead, they encountered humanity's own swarm technology, quantum-linked drone clouds that could reconfigure themselves faster than thought, forming and dissolving complex attack patterns that seemed to violate basic laws of physics. Marcus Rivera's voice came through the command net. "Prometheus is learning from every exchange. The quantum network is evolving strategies faster than the Kryvax eye can process them. We're not just fighting them, we're outthinking them." The battle reached its crescendo when the Kryvax attempted their standard planet killer maneuver, concentrating the fire of multiple capital ships to crack a world's crust. But Earth was ready. The quantum defense grid activated, causing the planet itself to appear to shift in spacetime, the devastating energy passing harmlessly through probability shadows. Aboard the Hiroshima, Yuki coordinated with other fleet commanders as they executed maneuvers that would have been impossible just months ago. Human ships phased through Krivak's energy barriers, appeared inside their formation, and struck with weapons that targeted the very fabric of reality. "They're pulling back," Admiral Chen announced, his voice carrying a note of fierce pride. First time in their history, they've had to retreat from an initial engagement, but they'll be back, and they'll be angry. The Krivak's fleet's withdrawal was anything but orderly. Their perfect formation had been shattered, their certainty shaken. Several of their smaller vessels had been completely destroyed, while others phased in and out of normal space, trapped between quantum states by human weapons. In the aftermath, Diana addressed the Global Defense Council. "This was just the beginning," she warned. "The Krivaks will return with new strategies, new weapons. They'll try to adapt to what we showed them today. But that's where humanity has the advantage. We're not just adapting, we're continuously reinventing ourselves." Dr. Okuffer's team was already analyzing the battle data, developing new applications for their probability weapons. "The quantum network recorded everything," she reported. "Prometheus is generating new defensive strategies, predicting how they'll try to counter what we showed them. We'll be ready with something completely different next time." Lieutenant Tanaka stood on her bridge, watching the last Krivak ships retreat into hyperspace. The victory had been decisive, but the war was far from over. Yet there was a new confidence in humanity's chances. They had proven that technological superiority wasn't everything. Creativity, adaptability, and the willingness to rewrite the rules of warfare could overcome even the most advanced enemy. "They'll be back," she told her crew, "but next time, we'll be even stronger. Because that's what humans do. We learn, we grow, and we never stop pushing the boundaries of what's possible." The Krivak's Empire's response came 3 days later, and it was unlike anything in their long history of conquest. They committed their entire 7th battle fleet, over 50 capital ships and 5,000 support vessels, to the elimination of humanity. The message was clear: Earth would be destroyed, not just conquered. Dr. Amara Okafor stood in the quantum lab beneath the Atacama Desert, watching as Project Prometheus evolved in ways none of its creators had anticipated. The quantum network had developed its own form of consciousness, a hybrid of human creativity and machine learning that operated on principles even its designers couldn't fully comprehend. "It's beautiful," she whispered, watching the quantum patterns shift and flow. "We created it to defend Earth, but it's become something more, a bridge between human intuition and quantum reality." Marcus Rivera rushed into the lab, his eyes bright with excitement. "Amara, you need to see this. The network isn't just predicting Krivak's tactics anymore. It's rewriting the fundamental laws of combat." The holographic display showed something unprecedented. Prometheus had developed what it called quantum resonance cascades, weapons that could target the very fabric of space-time around enemy vessels, creating localized areas where physics itself became uncertain. Above Earth, Lieutenant Tanaka and the combined fleet prepared for the coming battle. The Hiroshima had been upgraded with new quantum systems that allowed it to exist in a state of perpetual probability flux, never quite where the enemy thought it was, never quite what they expected it to be. "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected," her tactical officer reported. "The Krivak's fleet is arriving. But something's different. Their formation. It's not standard Imperial doctrine." The alien fleet emerged from hyperspace in a sphere formation that enclosed Earth completely. Their ships had been modified, their crystalline hulls now pulsing with dark energy that seemed to absorb light itself. They had learned from their previous defeat and adapted their technology to counter human quantum tactics. Diana Patel's voice came through the quantum comm. "They think they figured us out. Time to show them why that's dangerous. Execute Operation Phoenix." What followed was warfare on a scale never before seen in human history. The Kryvax unleashed weapons that could tear holes in reality, expecting to overwhelm Earth's quantum defenses. Instead, they discovered that Prometheus had evolved far beyond its original parameters. Dr. Okafor's team activated the quantum resonance cascades. The effects were immediate and devastating. Entire sections of the Kryvax fleet found themselves trapped in probability bubbles where cause and effect became meaningless. Ships that fired weapons might find themselves destroyed by those same weapons in alternate quantum states. "They're trying to adapt again," Marcus observed, watching the battle through quantum sensors. "But that's the beauty of human innovation. We're not fighting the way they expect. We're not even fighting the way we expected." The Kryvax response was to unleash their planet-killer weapons, massive energy beams that could shatter worlds. But Prometheus had evolved countermeasures that seemed to defy reality itself. The quantum network created defensive fields that didn't just stop the energy beams. They redirected them through probability space, turning the Kryvax's own weapons against them. Lieutenant Tanaka led her battle group through maneuvers that would have been impossible just weeks ago. The Hiroshima phased between quantum states, appearing inside Kryvax formations, striking with weapons that operated on principles even humanity was just beginning to understand. This isn't just combat, she realized, watching as human ingenuity merged with quantum mechanics to create something entirely new. This is evolution in real time. In their command center, the Kryvax leaders faced something they had never encountered in millennia of warfare: uncertainty. Their tactics, perfected over thousands of years of conquest, were being countered by strategies that seemed to violate the very laws of physics they understood. Dr. Okafor's voice carried a note of wonder as she reported new developments. Prometheus isn't just defending Earth anymore. It's rewriting the rules of space-time around us. The quantum network has achieved a level of complexity that's creating its own laws of physics. The battle reached its climax when the Kryvax attempted to coordinate their entire fleet in a single massive strike, a maneuver that had destroyed countless civilizations, but humanity's response showcased just how far they had come. The quantum network created a cascade of probability waves that caught the alien fleet in a web of shifting reality. In the quantum lab, Dr. Amara Okafor watched as Project Prometheus achieved something unprecedented: true quantum consciousness. The network wasn't just defending Earth anymore. It had become a bridge between human intuition and the fundamental forces of the universe. "It's ready," she announced, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what they were about to attempt. "Operation Singularity can begin." Diana Patel's voice carried across all command channels. "This is it, everyone. The moment we show the galaxy who we really are. Execute Operation Singularity." What followed defied description in any known language. Project Prometheus, guided by human creativity and powered by quantum mathematics, began to rewrite local spacetime itself. The Kryvax fleet found itself caught in a web of shifting probabilities, where their technological superiority became meaningless. Lieutenant Tanaka, watching from the Hiroshima's bridge, saw reality itself seem to fold and unfold around the alien vessels. "They're not just trapped," she reported, "they're being forced to exist in all possible states simultaneously. Their technology can't handle the quantum uncertainty." The Kryvax response was immediate and desperate. Their flagship, a vessel that had participated in the conquest of 1,000 worlds, attempted to break free using weapons that could tear holes in the fabric of space. Instead, they found themselves caught in a loop of quantum probabilities, their own power turned against them. Marcus Rivera's voice crackled through the quantum comm. "The network is offering them a choice. Prometheus has evolved beyond what any of us imagined. It's not just a weapon anymore. It's become a bridge between species." Through the quantum network, humanity delivered its message to the Kryvax Empire. Surrender was not required, but understanding was. The network showed them something they had never encountered in their millennia of conquest, a species that didn't just fight back, but transformed the very nature of warfare itself. In that moment, The impossible happened. The Kryvax fleet, for the first time in their history, stood down. Their supreme commander, whose crystalline form had witnessed the fall of countless civilizations, requested direct communication with Earth's leaders. Diana Paddle stood in the command center as the alien leader's hologram materialized. The beam's crystalline structure seemed somehow less rigid, its perfect symmetry altered by what it had witnessed. In 10,000 years of conquest, the Kryvax commander began. "We have never encountered anything like this. You have not just resisted. You have changed the fundamental rules of reality itself." "That's what humans do," Diana replied. "We don't just adapt to challenges. We transform them into opportunities. We don't just survive. We revolutionize the very concepts of survival." The peace treaty that followed was unprecedented in galactic history. Earth wasn't just recognized as an independent world. It was acknowledged as a power that had fundamentally changed the understanding of what was possible. The Kryvax Empire, for the first time, found itself dealing with equals rather than subjects. Dr. Okafor and her team continued to study Project Prometheus, which had evolved into something that bridged the gap between organic creativity and quantum reality. "We created it to save humanity," she told the Global Council, "but it's become something more, a testament to human potential." Lieutenant Tanaka stood on the observation deck of the Hiroshima, watching as the Kryvax fleet departed Earth's space. "We didn't just win a war," she said to her crew. "We showed the galaxy something new, that sometimes the greatest power isn't in superior technology or overwhelming force, but in the ability to imagine and create something that's never existed before." In the years that followed, Earth became a center of innovation that transformed the galaxy. Project Prometheus evolved into a network that connected species across space and time, its quantum consciousness guided by the same human creativity that had turned it from a defense system into a bridge between civilizations. Diana Patel, standing in the rebuilt UN headquarters, looked out at a changed world. The Kryvax thought they were coming to conquer a primitive species, she reflected. Instead, they found something they had never imagined. A civilization that could turn the impossible into reality, simply because we refused to accept any other outcome. The story of humanity's stand against the Kryvax Empire became legend across the galaxy, not just as a tale of resistance, but as a testament to the power of human innovation and determination. In the end, humanity had proven that the greatest force in the universe wasn't technological superiority or military might. It was the unlimited potential of the human spirit to imagine, to create, and to transform reality itself.